Happy freaking New Year, my Everygirls. I am honored that you are beginning your 2026 with me. I am so happy to be starting my 2026 with you. Welcome to the very first episode of the year. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm in my makeshift little recording studio here in my in law's house in North Carolina. Whether you are journaling your resolutions or sipping a matcha on your hot girl walk or just trying to, kind of shake off the holidays and re enter your routine, I want to start this year with you in completely different energy because this is not a new year, new me kind of episode. This is not going to be the typical New Year's episodes that you might hear on other podcasts. I hope what we're going to talk about today is about to genuinely change the way that you think about and interact with and show up to your life. This is a topic that I recently got really into, and it has transformed mine, honestly. I feel like it was like the missing piece that I had been needing for years when it came to my goal setting and manifestation practice. So, let me first tell you a little bit of a backstory. So, a few months ago, I was reading How to Manifest by Lacey Phillips because I was having Jessica Gill from the To Be Magnetic team on the podcast. And I was doing some journaling along with it. And I just felt stuck. I was like, I don't know what is preventing me from getting to where I want to manifest. But I had just been feeling kind of stuck and complacent, I guess, a little bit in the past year or so. And I was like, I really don't know what is preventing me from manifesting what I want to manifest. I don't know what limited beliefs there are left. I feel like I've worked through so many. So I opened up ChatGPT. I know. Okay. But chat has been hugely helpful in helping me kind of work out stuff because it just asks good follow up questions. And I basically journal into ChatGPT to get realizations or to work out what I need to work out. So I was talking to chat, trying to figure out why I feel so stuck in certain areas of my life. Like I knew I was showing up. I believed in myself. I've done the therapy, the inner child healing, the vision boards, the affirmations, all the, I am worthy meditations. I have felt so aligned and so ready, and yet there are certain results that weren't landing, more money, visibility, platform growth, even some aspects of my health. I just kept feeling like I was operating at a much higher level than what my reality was reflecting in a lot of ways. So I told chat, I need help releasing a limiting belief, but I don't know what the belief is or where it's coming from. I've just been so frustrated, feeling kind of stuck. I was trying to find what limiting beliefs because as I was reading the How to Manifest book and just everything I've learned about energy work and manifestation and setting goals, the crux of it all is really your beliefs. You've probably heard me talk about this in many different episodes, but it really is the crux of everything. So that's why I was like, what limiting beliefs are left that I have not worked through? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And basically, what I worked through in this session, I guess we'll call it, with my friend Chat, was a huge aha moment for me. And what I learned was that I wasn't actually blocked by a fear or lack of self-worth or subconscious self-sabotage, as typically happens when we're not manifesting, all the stuff that we typically talk about. I feel like I was already embodying the version of me who was ready for the life I want, but my external reality just hadn't caught up yet. And the gap between who I am and what I was seeing in my reality created this like low key sense of lack or like impatience, urgency. Like I was always just a few steps behind the life that I could feel was mine. Maybe you relate to this too if you're, doing everything quote right and trying to manifest a relationship or a job opportunity or whatever it is and feeling like I know I'm almost there. I feel like I'm almost there, but for some reason, I'm always behind. I'm never actually there. And it's this like frustrating disconnect. And what I learned in this moment and what this entire episode is about, what I feel like is so game changing, I wanted to make the New Year's episode centered on it, is something I now believe is the missing piece in most manifestation or goal setting conversations. We talk a lot about visualizing the life that we want and releasing limiting beliefs that are holding us back, which are both so important. But there's a third piece that almost no one is talking about. I certainly hadn't heard about it before. And it's likely the exact reason that you might be feeling stuck right now, even if you're trying really hard or doing everything right. And that piece is collapsing timelines. It's learning how to shorten the gap between the version of you who knows she's meant for more and the reality where that more actually shows up. Because to reach any goal, any dream life or goal or level up, whether it's making more money or getting a certain job or getting a relationship or losing weight or healing a symptom or having a certain type of home, whatever your dream life looks like to you, you might already be ready for it. You might already be aligned. You did the visualization to know what you actually want. You did all the work to get out of limiting beliefs that might be telling you can't have it or that it's scary. But if your nervous system, your energy, and your mindset are still operating like you're waiting for something to click, you unintentionally keep that next level version of you just out of reach. So today, we're going to shift that. This episode is a deep dive into why you're not seeing the results yet, what it actually means to collapse timelines, and how it works, the exact identity and energy shift that turns I'm trying, I'm building into, oh my God, it's actually happening. And why 2026 is going to be your breakout year because you're finally going to catch up to the version of you that already exists. So, if you've been feeling like you're tired of waiting for that career, the glow up, your income to improve, your dream life to show up, you're ready, but nothing's actually landing. You've outgrown your current reality. You feel like your job is too small or the friend group doesn't match who you've grown into, or you're tired of thinking about one day and you want to start living it now. This episode is your blueprint because your next level life, your dream life, is not someday. I want you to live that life now. Your dream life can actually be happening now, and 2026 is the year that you will start living it. So let's talk about what most people think is the problem when they're not getting the results that they want, and why I realized that those weren't actually the answers that I needed. There are two core tools, I think, that I have talked about a lot. I've seen show up the most in research. I kind of boil this down to two core beliefs of gratitude and visualization. You've heard me talk a lot about these two things. Gratitude is essential for achieving your goals because it raises your vibration. It moves you out of survival mode, and the energetic frequency of gratitude that you can literally measure in quantum physics basically attracts more to be grateful for. Like energy attracts like energy. Visualization retrains the brain. So it activates the reticular activating system, which is the part of your brain that filters information. So this is why Olympic athletes visualize races before running them, because your body calibrates to that future outcome. So these tools are so essential for achieving any goal, for manifestation, whatever you want to call it, but they don't address what happens when you feel so grateful for your present and the future version of you feels so real. You've done all the visualization, but reality hasn't caught up yet. The present hasn't caught up. Basically, no one is teaching you what to do when the internal shifts happen faster than the external outcomes, when you're changing more about yourself, but your reality is not reflecting that yet. Let me give you some real world examples so that this doesn't feel super like woo woo inception vibes. Okay. So let's say you really want to make more money. You finally believe you are worthy of earning six figures. You've done the action steps, you've raised your rates, you've totally transformed your money mindset to get rid of any lack or fear with money. You feel super in control of your finances that you do have. But then the weeks go by and you haven't gotten any new clients or you haven't seen any difference in your bank account. You're energetically there, but the money just hasn't caught up yet. Or maybe you want to lose weight. Just going with this is another super common goal, especially for New Year's resolutions. A lot of people have this goal. Let's say you feel great in your health routines, you're eating really nutritious foods, you're not restricting yourself, you're moving your body, you're less stressed, you're doing all the right things. It feels like the healthiest you've ever been. But it's been months and months and months, and nothing is changing with your weight loss. You're nowhere closer to your weight loss goals. Or let's say you've been wanting to be in a good, happy relationship for a while now, and you've done a ton of the inner work. You feel so worthy for a happy relationship. You've stopped choosing unavailable people. You've gotten really clear on your standards. You really, truly feel open and self aware and ready. You're going on dating apps and you're putting yourself out there. You feel really great. You're going on a lot of first dates, but it's been a year and not even one second date, no one worth pursuing. When these things happen, there is a mismatch between timelines, essentially. Your beliefs, your identity, your energy, your habits, these things have already shifted. You've already done all the work on this, but your external results, the world around you, hasn't caught up yet. It's that frustrating in between where you feel like the upgraded version of yourself, but you're not seeing the proof in your reality yet. Think of it kind of like you've updated the software, but your life is still kind of running on the old version. It's not that you are blocked from any outcome, as I think a lot of manifestations call it, of like there's a limiting belief that's blocking this manifestation or whatever it is. It's not blocked all the time. Sometimes it's just delayed. And no amount of gratitude or visualization will likely collapse that delay until you shift the one thing that no one talks about, which is your expectation of speed. Collapsing timelines might sound either very like woo woo, crazy, spiritual to you, or very black hole sciency. But really, what it just means is shortening your time outcomes, getting what you want, in 6 months versus in 3 years. It's about living in a certain way and being intentional so that the results show up faster. Manifestation really just talks about seeing results, but what I'm talking about today is about speed specifically, getting the results not only just to show up in our life, but to show up quicker. I've heard really successful business people use this term in the sense of like, let's say an employee says, oh, the company's going to hit $2 million by next year. Or someone's like, I'm going to buy a house in 3 years. And it's the shift of why not now? Let's hit $2 million in sales in 3 months. Let's buy a house by the end of this year. It's just collapsing the timelines so results you're planning for happen faster. This concept of collapsing timelines is not to replace gratitude and visualization, just to be super clear, because those things are extremely necessary and they are the biggest first steps. If you have not started there, go there first. I have a ton of episodes on both of these things. This is kind of like what you do after you've laid that foundation. It's kind of like completing the manifestation triangle, if you will. And the third point or the third leg or the third tool is your ability to collapse timelines by aligning your energy, your nervous system, and your action with the timeline that your energy is already calibrated for. That's when you stop living in almost or one day and you stop operating from this waiting energy. And instead, you start to feel and also see your level up unfold in real time, where it's actually here. It's not just something we dream about and think about, we're actually living it. You might be thinking, why does this happen? Why is there this mismatch in timelines or your internal state versus external reality? Why is this mismatch happening? It's because your nervous system is still wired to expect a certain pace or certain struggles or certain outcomes because it only believes what it's already seen. There's often, and it certainly was like this for me, there's this like hidden belief under the surface that kind of feels like, things take a long time for me. You might not be thinking that exactly, but this is what's going through your head when you notice how your boss compliments your leadership and gives you more responsibility, but there's still no promotion or no change in your salary. When maybe you post a TikTok you're really proud of, but it doesn't gain any traction. When you see someone else hitting whatever goal a lot faster than you, when you've been on dozens of first dates for months, but no second dates, when you launch something and get no response, when your body is maybe changing a little bit, but not fast enough. All of these things are evidence to your brain that things don't happen quickly for you, that things take a lot of time. And when these things happen, obviously, a lot of people will go to lack of worth or readiness. Like if you don't feel like your results are showing up because you're not worthy or because you're not ready, then that's going back to limiting beliefs. And that's like, okay, you got to make sure that you feel fully ready, fully worthy, like get over those limiting beliefs. So just be honest with yourself about what's actually going through your brain when you're seeing those delays, that timeline mismatch. But if you do feel like, I'm so ready and I'm so worthy for the promotion, or I'm so ready and I'm so worthy to go viral on social media or to lose weight or whatever it is, it all boils down, I think, to this one core pattern of it's not here yet. Your system is holding a baseline belief of I'm close, but I'm not there yet. And that's actually what is slowing things down. Because when your nervous system is trained to live in this like not yet energy, it starts scanning the world for evidence to confirm it of why you're not there yet. Your brain is wired for confirmation bias. It constantly filters your experience to match what it already believes. So your brain keeps you stuck in the almost there, but not there yet place. So if you believe things like, this is going to take a really long time, or I'm not there yet, things don't move quickly for me, your brain will literally ignore or downplay anything that proves the opposite. That's confirmation bias, like I said, but it isn't just cognitive in your brain. Your nervous system is really a part of this confirmation bias too. It's not just that you think you're behind or you're not there yet, it's that your body feels the feeling of not yet as something familiar or safe. It's programmed in your body, not just in your thoughts, but literally how you feel. So here's how we collapse the timeline. Here's how you get results in 1 month or 2 months or 4 months rather than 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. Here's how you actually make these major life altering transformations in 2026 instead of 2028 or 2030. Okay. Without forcing, by the way, without hustling, toxic productivity, faking it till you make it, without any of those things. Because the answer really isn't try harder or manifest harder. It's not, repeat your affirmations until you cry. It's to stop operating from the belief that your dream life is this future someday life. If you want to collapse timelines, if you want the results to finally match your visualizations, the version of you that you've worked so hard to become, you stop acting like someone who's trying to get there and you start responding like someone who already arrived. I'm going to break this down into 4 very tangible, powerful steps. Step number 1 is to shift from a pursuit energy to a response energy. You're probably, if I had to guess, because I am as well, you're probably in the energy of I'm working toward this thing, or I'm trying to get there, or I'm building toward this outcome. To collapse timelines, you have to believe it's already happening. It's already happening. I'm just responding to the momentum. You're not working toward the dream life anymore. You are adapting to the fact that it is already unfolding. So, for examples, if you want to become the next Alex Earl and you want to go viral on social media, the old pursuit energy would be like, I really hope this reel performs well, or people probably won't see this. Response energy instead would be, this is the kind of content that my future audience is already waiting for. There are people out there trying to find this type of content. Or another example of a pursuit energy kind of mindset thought would be, "Ugh, I really need to make more money. I'm not making enough money." Instead, shifting that to, I am creating financial systems that can organize and hold a higher income because it's already arriving. It's already in the process of coming. Like you're no longer trying to get there. You are already there and you're just letting things unfold. I'm not working toward my breakout era. I think we all have this concept of like whatever that looks like for you, like a breakout era where things are finally happening. I finally found this relationship, or I finally am making this money, or I finally am having success in my career goals, or I'm finally seeing this incredible transformation in my health. Like, we think of this concept of our breakout eras in the future. It's shifting that to, I am in my breakout era and I'm responding to the momentum. Like, you are making decisions from the identity of someone who's already inside the breakout era instead of waiting or prepping for it. And I get that probably what you're thinking right now is like, okay, how am I supposed to gaslight myself into believing that I'm in my breakout era already when my posts are flopping and I have 2 followers, or my body hasn't lost any weight, or my income has not improved at all and I still feel like I'm not there yet. Like, how am I supposed to actually believe it before the results show that? And I know that the concept of this step maybe feels like it might be performative. So this is a super important distinction because I don't want it to be performative. I don't want it to feel like you're saying these fake affirmations that you don't actually believe, because that's not going to do anything. And so it's a really hard thing to shift this energy before you have seen any results, to actually believe you're in your breakout era when no evidence shows you that. So this is really hard. I struggle with this myself, but I think the distinction is you're not pretending you already have everything you've ever wanted. You are refusing to feed the belief that it's not coming. And you're thinking about and believing it like it's going to come tomorrow. For example, if you knew $1 million was going to hit your bank account tomorrow, you won the lottery, they told you your check is going to hit your account on Friday. You don't physically have it yet. It's not like you're buying a car in a Chanel bag right now. But how would you feel knowing without a doubt that it was going to hit your account tomorrow? It's like that feeling of like, I'm no longer waiting or wondering or trying to get there. I know that it's coming. I know that it's coming tomorrow. I know that it's coming really soon. I basically have it. Those $1 million are yours. Even if it's not physically in your account yet, you know that you have it. What would you be doing differently? You would probably be getting your financial systems in place so you could properly manage a lot more money in your account, or making a game plan of how to invest it. You're not out here spending like a millionaire because that $1 million is not yet in your bank account, but you are moving with the energy of someone who knows that the money is theirs. There's no panic, no like, well, will I really get there? What if it never comes? Or that feels so far away. You're not doubting. You are in the belief and energy and action of knowing that that's coming now. And that's what collapsing timelines looks like in real life. You're not saying, yay, I've made it, when you really feel like you haven't. Instead, you're saying, I am already fully in motion. Let's say your goal is to love your body, feel more confident in your body. Maybe you're working on healing your hormones, whatever it is. You may not see a difference with your hormones right now. So obviously, you're not saying, I have perfectly healed hormones and I have no symptoms, when that's just not the truth. You're not trying to gaslight yourself with some fake ass affirmation that your body doesn't really believe. But what is true? You're moving more consistently than you were last year. Maybe you're craving healthier foods. Maybe you're choosing sleep over scrolling. Maybe it's not fully, I've healed my symptoms and I have no symptoms, but it is, I'm already in motion. I'm already seeing such amazing results, rather than I'm not there yet. It's not like forcing the delusion. It's about calibrating to momentum, if that distinction makes sense. Step number 2 is to rewire your nervous system to expect speed. Because again, we're trying to convince our bodies, our nervous systems, our energy, that we can achieve or receive, whatever you want to call it, faster, right? That we can actually be getting these manifestations and hitting these goals quickly. Here's something you've probably never been taught. Your nervous system is used to things taking time. You have experienced enough delays, letdowns, rejections, almosts, slow builds throughout your life that even though you want things to happen fast, your body still expects things to unfold very slowly. And if your system expects slow, it will subconsciously resist fast, which might look like you subconsciously hold back when things do start taking off, or you shrink when a potential opportunity does show up, or you default to overthinking when you really could just be going for it and executing, or maybe you feel, like really tired when you actually do start seeing a little bit of momentum. That's a very real thing. So, if your nervous system is used to the idea that things take time, there's some psychology that I think can help you. When we think of goals, and especially the science, the psychology behind goal setting, it's been shown that most people expect their goals to show up gradually like a staircase, one step and then another. It's kind of like a even line graph that just starts from 0 and gradually at the same rate goes all the way to the top, right? That's how people expect their goals to be. But the data actually shows that success more often looks like what scientists call hot streaks, periods where your work or your impact suddenly clusters into a burst of high performance. I think this is really cool because hot streaks are actually like the scientific proof of collapsing timelines. It's like basically collapsing timelines in psychologically studied research. So basically, like what this means is that people do not typically experience success like that gradual chart, like the steps one on top of the other. What it more looks like is this kind of like plateau, 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 and then spike. And that spike is the moment your internal evolution catches up with your external world. And if you look at a graph like this, or maybe if you see other people and their success, it might feel sudden. We have this concept of an overnight success or someone that it seems like, oh my God, they came out of nowhere. But it's really never random. The spike is the result of sustained alignment, consistent energy, a lot of work, quiet preparation that eventually kind of collapses into this visible, fast movement, gains a ton of momentum instead of this gradual step by step process. What's really interesting is that research also shows that hot streaks are not the result of being more productive. It's not like, you're lacking productivity for so many years and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh great, I suddenly got all this productivity in me and worked a lot harder," and that's how the hot streak happened. When they measure output, the hot streaks do not happen because of output. It typically has nothing to do with the work you're doing, the time you're putting in. Instead, research shows that hot streaks occur after long periods of internal development, followed by a moment when everything aligns: timing, confidence, insight, opportunity, focus. So if your nervous system is used to this idea that things take time, since you're in that slow growth feeling of like it's basically plateauing and you're just expecting it to continue the gradual at that pace graph to be a staircase one step after the other, this hot streak research can rewire that belief. You might be feeling stuck right now or whatever it is, but you're actually just in the phase of internal development that leads to the major spike. It's not a staircase for you. It's actually you're climbing stairs and then all of a sudden you are in an elevator that shoots you to the top. And when you expect that spike, when you know that's coming, you're more likely to create it. If you feel like your journey up to this point has taken so much time and that it's going to take that much more time to improve more, that's not how it works. You have done a lot of work to lay the foundation, and your hot streak moment is coming where it will be all this quick momentum to the top. And then we can also rewire our nervous system to get our dream life faster by training our bodies to fully trust speed by creating micro moments of fast payoff. So, for some examples, if you send out a pitch email and you get a quick reply, just say to yourself, "See, I do get results really fast." If you try a new healthy habit and you notice a win, maybe the first day you try the supplement or you go for the walk or you wake up earlier, you have better mood. Maybe your skin looked a little clearer the next day. Maybe you just felt like more confident walking past a mirror. Notice when those fast results happen because they rewire your nervous system to go, "Oh, wait, things actually do move fast for me." And then if it's really hard to convince your nervous system to expect speed based on your outcomes, if it's hard to find these micro moments of fast outcomes because it feels like even micro moments are slow. Focus instead on reps instead of outcomes. For example, I am posting regularly, which means my content is already in motion, or I am pitching often. So something is always circulating, something's bound to work out. Or I work out regularly. So my body is constantly working to heal. I'm constantly connected to my body. So focus on how much reps you're doing, knowing that that's creating the momentum. And then once your baseline expects that speed, that things happen quickly, that things are circulating, that things are already in motion, everything will speed up quicker. Step number 3 is to stop identifying as almost there. I would say most high achieving women get trapped into this identity of like almost there. And at first, it feels so empowering. Like, I'm so close. I'm on the verge of a breakout. I'm building something big. I'm so close to my dream life. But energetically, it keeps you in this like holding pattern where you're always almost. It's like this subtle identity trap that's, I think, really easy to miss that locks you into a state of preparation rather than arrival. Oh, it's here. There's a name for this actually in psychology. It's called cognitive congruence, or the internal drive to keep your reality consistent with your beliefs about yourself. So if you believe that you are just shy of arrival to your dream life, your behavior and attention will reinforce that just shy of rather than the actual arrival. So you might self sabotage in small ways. You'll second guess your intuition. You will delay action until something feels more ready, all in the name of staying consistent with almost there. The shift here isn't about, again, gaslighting yourself into pretending like you've made it and you have everything you want. It's more about like refusing to hold on to the idea that you haven't yet. You kind of get rid of the identity of I'm working toward or I'm building or I'm not there yet or it's in the future. And instead, you step into this is already who I'm becoming. And it's, by the way, not just to manifest faster, even though I know that's what we're talking about today, but because it's actually true. The almost identity served you when you were learning and preparing and building, when you were in that phase that looks like a plateau on the success chart. But at a certain point, it becomes the glass wall between you and the life that you're fully ready for. It's actually no longer true that you're not there yet. So if you want to get in, like I was talking about, that hot streak phase, the major spike, the shift starts with your language. So instead of saying, I'm close to my dream life, I almost have this business, I am working on a weight loss, whatever it is, try, I'm in motion. I am losing weight. I am making more money. Momentum is already building. Like whatever can feel true for you, lean on this language instead of not there yet language. This small tweak just in your language tells your nervous system that growth isn't this future event that's out there. It's actually instead, to quote the great Sheena Shea, it's all happening. It's already here. It's already happening. You can also shift your physical environment to reflect who you're becoming, like any small changes that you can control to convince yourself, I'm not almost there, I have arrived. Change your phone wallpaper, update your calendar with labels that reflect the identity you're stepping into. Anything that you can control creates subconscious reinforcement through environmental cues. And then when small wins happen to you, whether it's you get a exciting message or you finally have a breakthrough idea or you finish a workout or you make a healthy meal, any small win, do not downplay them. Respond like they really matter because they do. Say to yourself, yeah, this is part of my dream life, or this is proof that I'm in my breakout era or my glow up era or whatever it is. When you actually let go of the identity of almost there, not there yet, I actually don't think that your nervous system feels like it's faking it, maybe as much as you think it might. I think it actually feels relieved, like you're finally catching up to yourself. And then from there, your decisions, your energy, your focus all starts to reflect someone who is in the level up instead of preparing for it. And that's obviously when all the changes happen. Your timeline changes not because of blind optimism, but because your expectation actually shapes how you behave, how you show up, and then how your life responds to that. So that brings me to step number 4, which is to use aligned action. This is where the magic actually happens. This is where it lands in the real world and actually makes the changes, because no matter how many affirmations you say or vision boards you create, your belief system does not shift through words alone, it shifts through evidence. So, the fastest way to collapse the timeline between where you are and where you want to be is not to convince yourself through thought. It's actually to create daily lived proof. So, you don't have to believe 100% yet, I'm living my dream life, or I'm already leveled up, or I'm the best I can be. You don't have to believe it. You just have to take one action per day from that identity to start convincing myself that you are already arrived in your dream life or your leveled up version of yourself. And that will collapse the timeline so much quicker. So every day, I want you to ask yourself, if I already believed I was in my breakout era, the dream body, the dream career, the dream life version of me, what is one move that I would make today? Maybe, it's sending a bold pitch. Maybe it's cooking a healthy, delicious dinner. Maybe it's showing up on social media with more vulnerability. Pick a small, doable action step. It all counts. You can also start tracking what I call arrival evidence. So every day you can write down 1 to 3 things that you did that aligned with your next level self. Maybe you said no to something that doesn't serve you. Maybe you ate in a way that feels like, your healthiest self, your dream version of yourself would fuel your body. Your brain naturally seeks proof of your beliefs, so you have to give it evidence to work with. And that is how you do it. Okay, let me simplify all of this because I know it's meaty, it's pretty juicy, and I will break it down a little bit to summarize some takeaways for you, like what you can actually start doing now. Number 1, just have a daily practice, kind of like think of it like brushing your energetic teeth, if you will. It's your daily energetic hygiene. One action step, a daily way to remind your body and brain to shift into being your level up instead of working toward it. So you can start every morning with this question that resets your timeline. Something like, if I already knew my rise was happening, how would I show up today? Or if I was already in my breakout era, what's one move that I would make this morning? These questions and these action steps will help calibrate to the version of you that your reality is catching up to. I like to think of this like evidence cycles. So every day, take one small action from your breakout identity, whatever your highest self would do, the version of you that's in your dream life, like what they would do, and actually do it. It can be so small, not because it guarantees a certain result, but because it is building evidence. Send the pitch, do the workout, post the reel, apply for the job, wear the outfit that makes you feel like your hottest self. Make any decision as if you're already the highest version of yourself in your dream life. And then when anything slightly aligned happens, you get a yes, you get a bonus, you lose 1 pound or your skin looks clearer, even for a day, notice it. You got to clock it. Let your system register the proof that it's already happening, it's already in motion. That loop, the aligned action, which leads to micro evidence, is what will rewire your timeline. Your nervous system's rhythm is what determines how fast your external world can move. So, we are not trying to manifest millions of dollars to like magically appear in your bank account overnight. This isn't magic. I wish so bad I could wave my magic wand and get things for you, but that's not what we're doing here. You have the power to achieve whatever you want when you shift what you expect today. So, say things like, this post might not have gone viral, but it will land perfectly with the exact person who needs it. It's the kind of content my future audience will want to see. Or, this workout might not change my body today, but it is creating momentum. Any tiny believable expectations that signal to your nervous system things are moving. I'm already in the momentum, not the waiting. And then have regular expectation check ins. This is how you prevent old timelines from sneaking back in. So, what this looks like I do this in the day to day, in the little moments when that moment my brain says, it's not working, I'm not there yet. Maybe it's, I should be further along by now. When those thoughts come up, remember that that thought in itself is what's keeping you in the preparation phase rather than actually getting your dream life. So interrupt this thought pattern however you can. If again, that like, I'm already so successful, I'm already so rich, I'm already lost a lot of weight, I'm already so healthy. If those things feel like a stretch and it feels disgenuine and performative, go for more middle beliefs like momentum is building even if I can't see all of it yet. Or every day I'm operating like the version of me and look, I'm already getting healthier. Look, I'm already making a lot more money. Like whatever does feel true, even if it's not that dream life yet, stick to what does feel true instead of feeling that lack of I'm not there yet. This will keep your system engaged without the resistance that you might feel by saying, I'm already in my dream life. I am my highest self. I have my dream body, or I'm already really wealthy. You don't have to force it. You just have to find those middle beliefs that do feel true, but that build momentum and acknowledge the momentum instead of feeling that lack. So, the really good news is that you don't need a massive overhaul. You just need micro shifts, identity questions in the morning, one aligned action per day, short feedback loops where you can see evidence of things happening quickly for you, gently resetting your expectations. And then the belief, not that you're already in your dream life, if that's not true, but that your life is speeding up to meet you. That is how you collapse timelines in the real world. You guys, 2026 is not going to be another year of almost there. I refuse to let you guys go through this New Year cycle where we do all the manifestation rituals and all the goal setting stuff they talk about on TikTok, and then your life doesn't actually move. Nothing actually changes. I refuse to live on autopilot and to spend our lives waiting. We are going to live the life that we want to live now, today, in 2026. And I promise you, your reality will shift around you. Because it's New Year's Day today, or whenever you're listening to this, it's going to be the new year. So I wanted to just leave you with my life mapping routine that I do every single New Year's. If you want to try it too, I kind of think of this as a brainstorm to intentionally design my future as well as make sure that I'm currently living my life now to get me closer to where I actually want to be. I think that's a lot of timeline collapsing is just checking in on like, how can my life now actually reflect this? I'm going to walk you through this so that you have this tool at your disposal. So get out a pen and paper, follow these steps. You can pause here, come back later. It's a journaling exercise. Okay. So, first, we're going to start with gratitude because tapping into gratitude is, like I already said before, like I've talked about a lot, gratitude is crucial for manifestation. If you're not getting into the vibration of gratitude, you are not doing manifestation correctly. And also, like, it's not even just about manifesting. It's like, I don't want to live my life only focusing on what's next, what's next, what's next. I want to live my life feeling so happy and grateful for what I have. So, first, celebrate where you already are. Reflect on how far you've come in 2025 and what you love about your life now. It can be really small things like you love your bedroom in your apartment or you feel more confident than you did in 2024. And then write out every category, every area of your life: health, finances, career, relationships, and home. I think those are all the categories I do. If you want to add a category, go for it. And you're going to write about what you want each of these categories to be like in 1 year from now. So you're reflecting on what your life will be like in January 2027. Oh my God, that is wild. So what is your health like? What is your home like? What are your relationships like, et cetera, in January of 2027? I really recommend writing in present tense. So rather than, I will be eating healthy foods, it's like I eat healthy foods because that way you're training your nervous system to live those experiences. This is another like key collapsing the timeline when you are wiring your nervous system to believe you're living it now instead of future you is living it. That's that timeline collapse we're talking about. So take some time to journal in every area of your life. I live in this kind of home. I have this kind of relationship. I do these things with my friends. My career looks like this. I do this every day. This much money is in my bank account. I have bought this house, whatever it is. Like write in present tense, putting dates on it is part of the timeline collapse. It's wiring this is the speed in which you will expect. And then here's the important part. Once you've mapped out what your best life looks like, Make a list of 3 things per category in your home, your relationships, your health that you can do throughout this current year to get closer to each of these goals. So, for example, in a past year, I wrote about, I for years have worked to heal my period symptoms. So, I made a weekly plan to cycle sync. I set up doctor's appointments, whatever it is. Like, what are 3 action steps you can take now to get closer to what that life looks like? If your goal is to be at a certain financial point, you want to make $1,000 more each month, or you want to have a down payment on a house in 3 years. What are the money habits, the spending plans, the side hustles that you can start today to actually make that happen? That is the timeline collapse. Now, after this exercise, you not only have this clear idea of what you want out of your life, but you also have concrete action steps to get closer to it. I hope you guys enjoyed that and that it made sense. I tried to really break this down as tangibly as I could and give you actual things you can be doing. So I hope that this episode was as much of a game changer for you as putting it together was for me. I truly believe if you are listening to this podcast, you are so ready to be your highest self, to live your dream life. And not because your life is not good enough as it already is now. That's a super important thing I think we all need to hear right now, especially is your life is already so great as it is in so many ways. But we deserve to experience as much joy and excitement as life can offer us. And that is why I am so big on collapsing timelines and your dream life and being your best self is not because you're not already worthy and good enough, but because we are here on this planet for such a short amount of time, as far as we know. And we deserve to squeeze the most out of life that we possibly can. My biggest fear in my life and my biggest fear for you guys is to be at a certain point of our life where we feel like most of it's already happened to us and we look back and say, what could have been different? I do not want you to have that moment. And 2026 is the year that we start living without regrets, without doubts, without worries of what could have been. Please let me know in the Apple reviews and Spotify comments if you liked this episode, what resonated with you, what stood out to you the most. And then a quick reminder to check out our Best Self Challenge for this week on the everygirl.com. We have exercises, practices, articles centered around this week's goal of setting resolutions. And I will see you on Tuesday to start our week focusing on glowing up your health, upgrading your wellness. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me. And Happy New Year, girls. Happy 2026. Let's fucking go. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I sure did. Please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really makes a huge difference for our show so we can keep growing and bringing the content that you love. If you want more info, you can find us at the Everygirl Podcast on Instagram or theeverygirlpodcast.com. Talk to you next week.